The question is, do you have it in you to make it epic? And George Miller simply looked at them and said, watch me. Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, was once again written and directed by George Miller, who has done the previous Mad Max films, including the original Mad Max trilogy and Mad Max Fury Road. This is the prequel to Mad Max Fury Road, a film that was really hyped up like the goddamn movie of the century, and I mean Mad Max Fury Road, and it was incredible. Upon rewatching it, I actually have much more of an appreciation for it. The previous trilogy was fine, had some good moments, had some, memorable moments, some good quotable lines, but in all honesty was a bit messy as far as the narrative. Some fun moments, did have some characters that actually had homage paid to them in this particular movie, because as a prequel, it doesn't matter what prequel, horror, drama, it doesn't matter. If you were telling a prequel about Furiosa, who was played by Charlize Theron, and she was the one that was trying to get the brides away from Immortan Joe, and basically had lost her homeland, and then found out what happened to her homeland, all that stuff. If you haven't seen Mad Max Fury Road, you're going to be very confused about what's going on here. Because, again, this really just ties everything up beautifully, and Charlize Theron is not Furiosa. One, this shows her as a young lady. Anya Brown, she plays young Furiosa, who's taken from the Green Place. I want to say, the young Brown, she actually is quite good. I think she's got a bright future in Hollywood. She is magnificent in this, and is able to do a lot, despite the fact, she's a younger actress, and when it comes to children or even like early teen actors, it can be a little bit hit and miss. Saoirse Ronan was really good and has grown since then. Maybe she'll be the next Saoirse Ronan. Saoirse Ronan is nowhere near this, but yes, Furiosa, not played by Charlize Theron because of de-aging technology, even though George Miller respects the hell out of Charlize and she wanted to return, she praised the one that played the younger adult version. I mean, I'm sure she praised Miss Brown, but Anya Taylor-Joy, who is the perfection of a woman, the absolute perfection. She is fucking phenomenal as an actress. As an ethereal beauty, you could put her in the silent film era. You could put her in the 60s, like in Last Night in Soho, which was a great movie. Thomas and Mackenzie was also great in that. She's nowhere near this, but Miss Taylor-Joy, from The Witch, she was great in that. The Northman, she was fucking phenomenal in that. Okay, The New Mutants, but nobody could save that, not even somebody of Anya Taylor-Joy's great talents. She has been great in so many movies. So many movies that I got them all flowing in my goddamn head and I can't come up with them. The whole point is her playing Furiosa, who has to basically battle, being plucked from her home at a young age and battle the worst scum of what's remaining of society and grow up to finally take her goddamn revenge and then take revenge on everybody else and then take more revenge and revenge. Alright, so how is this movie? It's one of the best films of the goddamn year. This is fucking phenomenal. This, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and other films that, rise up or take classic IP and basically just raise it up and prop it up and bring it to new goddamn heights. This is really fucking great. There was a sequence during this that apparently, according to the IMDb page, was described as Stairway to Nowhere. It was like a 15-minute long sequence. It apparently took like 78 days to film. That's a lot of goddamn film. A lot of filming for one 15-minute sequence. George Miller is a perfectionist. He also did Happy Feet. Yes, the same man that did this also did Happy Feet. I will never understand that. He also did Babe, Pig in the City. That'll do, pig. That'll do. I will never understand that. That being said, didn't he do that 3,000 Years of Longing? Or, yeah, didn't he do that too? I need to check that out at some point. Nevertheless, George Miller, a tremendous director, and he understood how to basically get the most out of any action sequence. But 78 days, 200 stunt people, it was so exhausting but so rewarding. It pays off beautifully on the big screen. Get a chance to see it. Just see it in a really good quality theater. If you can see it in IMAX or RPX or whatever the version is in your area, please go see it because it is worth it. The sound, the design, the cinematography, the acting is just going to wrap you up in not even a nice, neat little blanket, because this is not necessarily a happy movie, even though you will stand and cheer by the end. It shows where Miss Taylor-Joy is willing to get her ass beaten. Just beaten up. But I gotta say, even in the desert, shaved head, long hair, doesn't matter. She looks great. She looks absolutely great. She is a captivating beauty. Now, you can't have a prequel without having a new villain. So you get Dr. Dementus, Chris Hemsworth, yes, Thor himself. He was Thor, and it hurts. He was great in this as well. He was basically what Lord Humongous or Humongous was in, Mad Max 2. If Humongous actually did stuff and actually was allowed to be more than just a guy in a Jason hockey mask, and that's pretty much it. And yeah, that was basically that's basically the lot right there. We do get more returning characters. We get Immortan Joe. We get the People Eater. Not the one-eyed purple People Eater. There is a one-eyed guy in this, and we get talks of, the bullet farm. Were they farm bullets? I know. I can't believe they did that. And we get Gastown, where, it's a refinery thing with gas and stuff like that. And we get the Citadel, which is where Immortan Joe and everybody else are. Also, yeah, Nathan Jones returned. Nathan Jones, he's great as a big, beefy lughead. Not necessarily somebody that you can rely on for personality, but he has fun. I do have to say that Charlie Fraser, who plays Mary Jabasa, take a look at her. Oh boy. You get a lot of great people in this, though. A great cast, and even the people that are peripheral characters. Oh look, Vegeta, more bald people. More white bald people with the silver spray and stuff and everything. And, Witness Me, The Glory of Valhalla and all that. And that's the thing. If you actually have not seen Mad Max Fury Road and you go watch this, you're going to be confused by some of this stuff. But if you see it, I want to know what you guys have to say in comparing the two movies. Do you feel this is a nice companion piece? Do you feel that it's a little bit more? Do you feel that it just adds so much more that it just turns out to basically make what we could end up seeing the finale of another trilogy? I don't know if George Miller has another Mad Max movie in him. I don't know how he would top the last two, this and Fury Road. But it would be nice to see some of that stuff, even if it would require Furiosa, Max, and maybe a bunch of other characters to team up. But Chris Hemsworth, I just want to say, the fucking revelation. He is great in this. And the $168 million budget, they made the most of that. It was filmed in Australia. It was great. The sequences are great. And even though there's about 30 more minutes of time added to this, because it is like a beefy 2-hour and 30-minute movie or thereabouts. But you witness Furiosa's rise. And it's not easy. But you just get to see how, all the Mad Max inspired stuff just gets, just put to you. And just, it gets kind of slaps you across the face, but it does, it's great fan service. It's the kind of fan service I can really enjoy. And as somebody, again, that was not the biggest Mad Max trilogy fan and had to rewatch Mad Max Fury Road to really appreciate, even though I liked it the first time, I appreciate it even more now. Man, it's just really good. And what's great is when she gets plucked from the green place, we have this long sequence where she's being chased. And Chris Hemsworth, from the beginning, from the moment he appears on screen, is absolutely smashing it. Smashing. But Anya Taylor-Joy, however you say it, she is so good in this. She's so fucking good. She won't get an Oscar for this. There's no chance. Because other artsy films will get that. But she really, quite frankly, did a great job in this. And the settings feel alive. Everything is nice. We see how dirty some of the stuff is. Like, just it's all sandy. It's all grimy. We see how Immortan Joe kind of became, was like rising up as a leader. And showing that Hemsworth kind of was a bit like Humongous in the sense that he has a funny name. He takes over this particular area and has this big army, and then he realizes he's in over his goddamn head. And it's just so good. It's so fucking good. It's so good. I can't say again how good this film was. And what's nice is that we could get a third one. We could get this, but it's just so good. The closing moments will be etched in my head as one of my favorite films of the year. Check it out in theaters as soon as you can. It is absolutely fucking worth it. So yeah, I'm just going to get into spoilers, but great performances, great cinematography, just great all around. Great shit. Such good shit, pal. 3, 2, 1, spoilers. So, Furiosa gets plugged from the green place, gets chased by by others, including her mother. And she basically ends up rescuing her after a long chase sequence. I mean, she ends up rescuing her from Dementus. And she rescues her briefly, but then the mother gets caught in a firefight, literally, after getting set on fire, and also gets strung up, and Dementus basically has her killed. And then Furiosa falls into a spell where she doesn't really say anything. And we build this up where she even gets a teddy bear from Dementus and all this. And then Dementus wants to take over Gastown because the leadership isn't going all that well. And also he feels it's an opportunity for him to basically achieve his dream. And he kind of strikes a deal with Immortan Joe where he's taking over Gastown. He took over the stuff with the, the previous guy. And they make a deal for food and supplies, for gas and stuff like that. So they just do all these shipments. And it's going to go all great. So Dementus is kind of a buffoon. He's a bit tyrannical, but he's also a bit of a buffoon. He's not very smart when it comes to being a leader. Now, meanwhile, Miss Brown, playing young Furiosa, kind of evades Nathan Jones's very creepy behavior on camera. Not actually, I've heard Nathan Jones is a very lovely individual. He's also a massive man, and I would not want to make accusatory statements toward him because I wouldn't want him to throw me or try to wrestle. Because we all saw how that went. It didn't go well, folks. It didn't go well. He picked the better career path. That being said, that Stairway to Nowhere sequence is great, where she is repairing stuff, trying to repair stuff underneath the truck while it's going like so many miles an hour. And people are exploding. People are throwing exploding spears. And we get this great stuff with like these, these motorcycles and all the dirt bikes, all this great stuff, all this great action. It's so phenomenal. It's so well done. She does strike up a friendship with Praetorian Jack, Tom Burke, who is great in this. He is great in this. And it almost seems like there's going to be a pseudo-romance, so to speak. I want to say that kind of came out of nowhere, but it did skip around a little bit. It went almost an hour before we even got to Anya Taylor-Joy as Furiosa. So they gave Miss Brown plenty of chances to shine, and boy, did she. Now, Dementus kind of goes out of the scene for a bit, and then when we get back to him, we see he's not doing all that well, because Gastown is kind of all fucked up, and he can't keep control of the people anymore, because maybe they realize, yeah, he's not a very good goddamn leader. So, Joe decides, what we're going to do is we're going to basically, we're basically going to beat them down and everything, because they could have beaten them down earlier. There was an earlier invasion attempt that did not work, which led to the aforementioned trade deal. And Joe also has his wives that he wants them to give birth to a son. If they don't do it after 3 times, they are kicked out. Anya looks great, by the way, incredible. She ends up getting a souped-up car, so to speak, because she's going to go after Dementus and do some stuff. And she does. And I just want to say that just what's so picturesque about this is just the incredible action. And just the fact that even when the action subsides, you can get really invested in the characters. And again, Fury Road is just slightly above this, but Furiosa's not far behind. It's like almost neck and neck, because you get more backstory here. Yes, you get some action. You get really, really good stuff. You get incredible atmosphere, and that's what's appreciated. It takes its time. And again, before Anya appears, you actually get quite a bit of backstory as far as like all what's going on, and you see these characters develop, and you see some good shit. And you also see how resourceful Furiosa is. And yeah, what basically I end up loving is when she finally got a hold of Dementus. I mean, yeah, I'm skipping around on a lot of stuff because Tom Burke ends up, not ending in the best, not ending up all that well, let's just say. But when she finally gets a hold of Dementus and runs him down and gets him in the desert and basically just tortures him, she ends up getting, the reason her arm, by the way, becomes, was cut off here and she had a metal arm was because there was this point where she was trying to basically get, with like her and Tom Burke were like trying to get away from, Dementus's vehicle, and they slammed and her arm kind of got fucked up. But the thing is, she ended up pulling her arm off just to escape the trap that Dementus had set when he, held her there by a chain. And then she tells Joe about this. All this stuff happens. She basically ends up kind of becoming a one-woman warrior. She ends up basically trapping Dementus in the desert, tortures him, violently beats him. God, I would love to be beaten by Anya Taylor-Joy. It's enough out of me. It's enough out of me. I don't have issues. You have issues. You didn't hear that. But nevertheless, just beats him up, and he won't acknowledge, like, you know, who she is, because she went to go with Joe instead of being with Dementus, so Dementus took the bear from her, and her years, all her youth, was taken away by this man. So she wanted him to acknowledge. She wanted her mother back. She wanted all this. Revenge, revenge, revenge. She basically beats him up, ends up shooting him. But then there are people like, oh, maybe she drug him away or she strung him up. She did all this stuff. And all this stuff's going on, all this torturous stuff. But she's not done getting revenge yet, because she may have killed Dementus, but she still wants to get revenge on Joe, who is a tyrannical son of a bitch. And she does. And what's great about it is, you know, we finish the movie after she tortures Dementus, which is great. Magnificent closing sequence. And then we see her getting the brides, you know, the brides that she stole from the beginning, in the truck. And she's going to take him to the green place, take him away, basically, take him away from Joe. And that's pretty much it right there. That is it. It ties right there. And then we go on to the events of Mad Max Fury Road. This gets an A+, because it is absolutely breathtakingly beautiful, even if it's bleak. And speaking of breathtakingly beautiful, Anya Taylor-Joy. Yes, maybe I will profess my love for the married Anya Taylor-Joy. And let me just say, her husband's a lucky man, and you treat her like the fucking queen and goddess she is. A+, so let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ricklin. I'll see you soon.